Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. We're at Costco. It's time to talk about the elections because that's tomorrow. I'm gonna give it just a little bit of time for people to join. But if you're here, let me know it. Let me know where you're from. What are your thoughts about election day this year? I'm not looking forward to it. Well, I'm not looking forward to the aftermath, I should say. I've already done a couple videos about it, but I feel like there have been signs that we're on a pretty bad path as a nation. Wannabe Farm Girl is from Idaho. Welcome. I'm not a doom and gloom person, but we do know that there's judgments associated with the last days, and in general, if the Book of Mormon is any guide, and I think that it is, I know that it is, society is essentially supposed to be falling apart, and I feel like that's already taking place. Let's see, I need the every hour podcast from Arizona. Clap, clap, smiley face. Carrie Cottrell, Idaho. Katie Gray, South Carolina. Welcome, you guys. So, and then Christy Huber, West Jordan, Utah. So, what do you guys think? Put in the chat, or if you're watching this after the fact, put in the comments what you think is going to happen. Do you think everything's going to be hunky-dory after election time? Mark the Utah says, here from Saratoga Springs, the Lord's new promised land. JK. I feel like I've been like meeting a lot of people and hearing a lot of people and going to Saratoga Springs recently. Saratoga Springs seems to be the place nowadays. Donna Cardin, Harriman, Utah, already voted. Trump is my man. Patricia Joyner, Lexington, South Carolina. Itala Ingersoll, I'm from Brazil, living in Idaho. Tom Glass, hello. Maria Mejia Contreras, hello Jared from California. Stockton. Chris P, Las Vegas. Hi Jared. Shane Williams here from Eagle Mountain. That's right by Saratoga Springs. Okay, so I feel like I haven't done a very good job this year with like keeping on top of like natural disasters and things like that. I've been focused a lot on like general conference talks and a lot of like Jewish things, and I don't know, last year I was much more on top of natural disasters. Like last year, 2023 was the year of like fire. It was a big year for wildfires. And actually that's the first thing I want to talk about. Last year saw the largest wildfire season for Canada in recorded history. And it caused all this wildfire smoke to come down into the United States. And at the very beginning of it, I think it was June of last year when it really started. One of the first places that saw the wildfire smoke was actually Utah, Salt Lake City. But shortly after that, there was even heavier or much more smoke that came down into the New York City and Washington, D.C. Areas. And I felt like that was a sign. You know, the skies being darkened by smoke, the sun being obscured, and that was the case in New York City. It's been a while since we've talked about it, but there were a lot of pictures coming out of New York and Washington, D.C., where the skies just looked apocalyptic. It didn't look good. And this year, it seems like there's been a lot more signs that are not so good for the United States. And let's not forget, going back another year to 2022, and I don't think that we should underestimate the importance of this, the United States saw its first ever election day blood moon. It was a lunar eclipse on election day. It's never happened in the nation's history, but it happened in 2022. 2022 was not a presidential election year. It was for, you know, different people in Congress, I guess the House and the Senate. But it was we did have national elections in 2022. And so that blood moon preceded these elections this year for the presidency. So, blood moon, the skies over Washington, D.C., looking apocalyptic. And you can look it up. Just do 2023 Washington, D.C. Canadian wildfire smoke, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It should come up right away. And then this year, we had this tornado outbreak that started in all places. It started in the Salt Lake Valley, not too far from the Ochre Mountain, Utah temple in the Daybreak development. And that led to a 20-day streak, which ended. The day that ended the streak was actually I think it was the 177th. No, I'm not going to say that. I can't remember. But it was the anniversary of the restoration of the Aaronic priesthood. And then after that, the tornadoes continued. And as part of that tornado outbreak, there was a very unusual, there were tornado warnings in the Washington, D.C. area for PDS, which is potentially, I think it's potentially dangerous situation. Tornadoes, PDS tornadoes in the Washington, D.C. area. So that was out of the ordinary. And there were other things too that seemed like they were U.S. specific. For example, we had, there was like this wax sculpture in Washington, D.C. of the Lincoln Memorial, and they didn't count on it being so hot that it would melt the statue, but it did. And you'll have to look this up, just look up melted Abraham Lincoln statue, like wax statue, Washington D.C., and you have this horrific looking statue with like Abraham Lincoln like with his head back as though he had just been shot, which seemed to be kind of a callback to when he was shot. And then later, so that was like over the summer. And then later in the summer, in July, you had this assassination attempt on Trump, which actually injured him. I mean, not badly. It just nicked his ear, but I've never experienced anything like that in my lifetime. And I know that there's been a couple other assassination attempts, but that's the one that was the closest to actually doing it. Dang, there was something else that I was thinking of. Oh yeah, there was, I think this was in the summer as well. There was this unusual, I can't remember which came first. I think it was the earthquake, but there was this unusual earthquake in northern New Jersey that was felt in New York City. And there were a couple articles that came out talking about the fact that it shook the Statue of Liberty, and the cameras that are on the Statue of Liberty, showed the shaking from the earthquake. So it was unusual. That's a national symbol. It's a symbol of liberty and freedom. And then the very next day, a photographer captured a picture of lightning striking the Statue of Liberty. And I know that it happens all the time. That's not the point. It's not the point. I know that tall structures get struck by lightning all the time. But when it's captured on photo or video in a dramatic way, then more people see it. And it puts that image in their minds. And especially when it happens the day after. Actually, maybe the lightning happened first. I can't remember. But let's say that the lightning happened first, and then the next day you had the earthquake. You had like 2 days in a row where the Statue of Liberty, saw some action. And just looking at it from like a science perspective, it doesn't look too good. And I know there were other things. I'm sure I have other stuff on my spreadsheet, but it just seems to me that this is a really, like, from a signs perspective, that this is a really significant year. That really, whatever happens tomorrow is going to be very, very consequential for not just the United States, but the entire world. So, for example, I don't know if this is just bluster or I don't know if this is true, but Trump had said that, um, if he doesn't become president, that Israel's not going to exist, um, in like within 2 years or something like that. And I don't know, that may have just been him saying things to try and get support, get people to vote for him. I still don't quite understand exactly. I still don't quite understand the whole thing with Israel and Iran and how, because I've talked to Rachel, we've talked about the military strength of both countries, we've talked about the politics in the region, and it just doesn't seem like there really would be like a ground invasion to take over Israel, and it doesn't seem like they would use nuclear weapons. Like look what just happened in Iran. The last I checked, and I haven't been following it as closely as I should, but I know that Israel retaliated for Iran's retaliation. And so Israel's most recent retaliation, my understanding is that they took out most of the air defense systems, um, well, I don't know if it's in the entire country or just like in Tehran or around sensitive sites. But it seems like Iran is kind of like in a position of weakness, but for all I know, maybe things will change. Maybe there's things that we don't understand, we don't know, and the tide can change. And I did a video about this a while ago, how, it seems like Israel's doing really good right now, going against Hamas, Hezbollah, and then Iran itself, and then, some of the other groups. But maybe all of a sudden, things are just going to turn around in a way that nobody expected. So, but whatever the case, getting back to Trump, I, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it's true. Maybe if he doesn't become elected, maybe they, and I don't know exactly who they are, Iran and their allies, or maybe somebody else, will go for Israel, and then we'll see the end of this war. The siege on Jerusalem, and then Christ will come. So that's one thing to think about. um, but I can't help but to think that no matter who gets elected, it's probably not going to be good as far as like the division in this country as well as around the world. Um, I feel like whoever loses, I feel like that side is probably going to lash out. They're gonna act out. Okay, let me just let's see here. Elder E says Pedro for 2024. Richard Lopez says correct. LDS TikTok, um, preservation, hurrah for Israel. Maria Mejia Contreras says, Terry, I loved living in Bakersfield. Penny Tidwell, I left watching one of your videos for your live. I'm sorry that I don't have a video out for today. It's been a busy weekend. So I'm gonna maybe try and have a regular video for later today. We'll see. Or it may just be tomorrow. But anyway, from a signs perspective, if you put aside the United States specific signs and you look at all the signs that we've seen, the signs in the heavens, the wars, things happening in the church this year, it seems like this is a really big year in a lot of different ways. And it's almost like, I don't know, that everything's maybe been culminating up till this point for the elections, for all I know. Maybe that's why this year is such a big year. It goes along with the timetable of the Lord, that like this is one of the central pieces, as we come toward the end, toward the second coming. Maybe this election is going to be huge when it comes to getting the world prepared for the second coming. Elder E says, have you ever gone back to your mission in Spain? Nope. I wish. And I'm aware of the floods in Valencia. That was my last area on my mission. I was in Valencia for 6 months, and I can't really picture or comprehend how there's floods like what we're seeing right now. But no, I'll make it back there at some point, I hope. Shane Williams says, not a good sign when the options are Trump, Harris, or Lucifer in Utah. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, there's a person who I think he legally changed his name to Lucifer uh, All's Love or something like that. And he's on the ballot. And I've seen pictures of it. I've talked about it with Caitlin from Anticipating Christ's Return. Yeah, that's probably not a good sign. No. God's Tender Mercies, National Guard troops on standby in Washington State, Oregon, and Nevada as precaution for quote unquote potential election unrest. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Maria Mejia Contreras says, I really enjoy watching your videos while I clean my house. I put it on Bluetooth to my speaker. Tom Glass says, Valencia onions. Well, Valencia is actually, I don't know about onions. I'm not doubting you, but Valencia, Spain is known for its oranges as well as paella. It's a great city. If you ever get a chance, if you go to Spain, you will not be disappointed if you go to Valencia. So I don't know. Does anybody else have any other thoughts? Are there any other like U.S. specific signs that seem to go along with this? Any that you can think of? Maria says, hit the like button. Thank you, Maria. Tom Glass says, oranged. Also, while you're at it, if you're on Instagram, please follow me, or TikTok, or Facebook. But I'm getting a lot more serious with my other social media accounts because I can. I want to do more. I have more content that I want to share in those formats. So make sure to follow me, please, on Instagram. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet here on YouTube, because I know that there's people that they'll watch YouTube channels, but they won't subscribe for whatever reason. If you could subscribe, please do that because it really helps me out. So if you enjoy the channel, just please subscribe. The Haystack says, FBI warned of an attack tomorrow. May also be a January 6th style provocation. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if something happened here like that, or just depending on the outcome of the elections, that other bad actors across the world decide to make a move if they feel like the elections went in their favor. Brother Sargent says, State conference with Elder Kieran was wonderful. Make your discipleship of Christ your top priority and have confidence in your eternal identity. Rochelle, I think it's Rochelle, or maybe it's probably Rochelle McNutt. The Lord has this covered. We are stronger than we think. The outcome will be that the Lord will be what the Lord planned. It will not be easy, but we saints will prevail. Rachie McNutt from Philly, Pennsylvania. Oh, you might be the first person from Philadelphia that I'm aware of that watches my channel. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that we should have hope. We should be aware that, bad things have been happening. They'll probably continue. Well, they will continue to happen all the way up till the second coming. But let's be faithful and let's focus on being righteous. Let's, yesterday in Sunday school, we were going over Come Follow Me, and the timing was pretty good. In our class, the person teaching the class played the video from the Book of Mormon video series that goes along with this week, and it was all about Mormon and just how there was like this big division between the Lamanites and the Nephites, and they were at war, and the Nephites were kind of like, they're really prideful and boasting in their own strength. And I feel like there's a lot of that right now in politics. There's this big war, left versus right, and whichever side you're on, you look at the other side, you dehumanize them, and basically you make it so that it's okay for you to shout at them. It's okay for you to go and steal their flags or their signs from their yards, or because you're right, you can talk down to other people, and you can whatever, because you're justified, right? You're in the right, so it's okay for you to do this. No, no, we need to be civil. We need to treat each other with kindness, especially those that we disagree with. We need to love them. And that doesn't mean that you go along with their politics. You still need to be involved in politics. You need to vote. Maybe get involved at the city level or get involved in some other way. Still do those things, but we need to be civil. And the very first identity that we should focus on for ourselves and for everybody else is child of God, and treat everybody accordingly as a child of God. So please don't add to the chaos in your personal life with whatever happens tomorrow. If you lose, then please lose with grace, and think of ways to win next time, and maybe how to make things better in your area. Share your political message, but do it in a Christ-like way and without contention. Let's see, Penny Tidwell, a lot of Facebook groups online are talking about everyone doing a prayer tonight for our country at 6 p.m. in your local time. Praying hands, American flag. Many areas are attending the temple tomorrow as well. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I will back that. So 6 p.m. tonight, you guys, local time, say a prayer for the United States. Or just do it right now. If you're worried about forgetting, just do it right now. Mariella Owens, my teacher brought up the conference talk by Elder Bednar about pride. It was really good. Yeah, you guys, I need to finally just watch that session of conference where Elder Bednar talked. I missed it because we were in Salt Lake. We went to the Saturday afternoon session, and we were going to go to the Saturday evening, but we were just burnt out. So we came back to the Airbnb, and I missed the Saturday evening session. But I plan on watching it, and I really want to watch Elder Bednar's talk because I know that was like a big one for a lot of people. Okay, I'm probably going to end here in just a second. Abrahamic astronomy, signs and wonders in the heavens. Yep, there's been a lot of them. Oh, looks like Jenica's back. Let me just read a couple more. Let me read a couple more comments really quick. I'll go to the bottom. Byro Kinsman, the Bednar's devotional was interesting. Elder Bednar hit on some fascinating stuff. His devotionals tend to be very direct. He warned of AI companions, among other things. Richard Lopez, with pride, there are many curses. With humility, there are many blessings. Ezra Taft Benson. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let me read this last one. This is from Holly Matson. We need to be a leader like Mormon and not be like the natural man in this wicked world. Let not our hearts be troubled. I think either vote will have issues. Smiley face. I agree. And you guys, I really do think that whatever happens, doesn't matter who wins, it could lead to Doomsday, or in other words, the second coming. I really do. I think that this election is going to be huge. So let's just, Christian Torres says you should help your wife laughing. No, no. I will, but right now, no. Sometimes she doesn't want me to help. There's a lot of times she doesn't want me to go in the store with her because she feels like she's pressured to hurry with her shopping. So it actually works out better this way. Okay, you guys, please have a good rest of your day. I'll try and get a video up maybe today. If not today, then tomorrow morning. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, preferably in that order. I'm wanting to do more with those accounts. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. Like this video if you liked it. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below if you're watching this after the live stream. And I'll talk to you guys later.